I got some stuff you just gotta try. What is it? Huh, you know.
You know, that's...
Yeah, I got this feeling inside. Can't find no balance in my mind. I must be missing a point. I need a coffee and a joint. I got this feeling inside. Can't find no balance in my mind. I must be missing a point. I need a coffee and a joint. Coffee in the joint, coffee in the 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 joint. Yo, I'm higher than an F-16.
All right. Well, I'm jointless and friendless because I'm in Idaho by myself. And, well, Idaho makes me jointless and friendless makes Caleb up there. So, sorry, white Jesus. It's been a bit, but I'm back and I got some great news. All kinds of great news, actually. We had a hell of a journey to get out of Portland. It was trying and yelling and fighting and screaming and loading. And, well, it was all worth it. Haven't felt bad for leaving that place at all. Life here is so much better. In fact, met our first, not our first neighbors, but we met our neighbors when we were unloading here, and started talking to him. Super nice guy, owns a construction company. Shout out to SC Construction and Renovations. And I think that's it. Pretty sure that's it. Anyways, super, super nice dude. He found out my lawnmower was in the shop and promptly got his lawnmower out and mowed my yard right away. This is why we moved back here. I don't know if we'll stay here or not, but definitely why we moved back here. I am saying the uhs again. I was almost through with that. Sorry, brain's a bit fried still. So, I won't get too much into the trip down. Lots of blown tires, lots of excursions, this, that, the other. But since we've been here, man, it's just been wonderful. We even went out and did some asparagus picking yesterday, which I hadn't done in many years. Just started driving the country roads, and I saw some asparagus plants, and one thing led to another. We took a nice long country drive and just enjoyed. But today was the day. Matthew, I think they said his name was Carl Brander. Yes, Matthew Carl Brander. Pretty sure that's it. But Matt Brander, needless to say. So I'm having microphone issues. Have half a desk set up because U-Haul Pods delayed our order until Monday. So here I am. But I wanted to have a podcast today because this was fun stuff. He got sentenced. Let's just get it out there for everybody to know. Yay! And it was a lot better than I thought. In fact, the psychosexual therapist that everybody keeps talking about, what a joke that is. And they gave him a low risk assessment. Now, the judge went through in court and read things that he disagreed with that. And I'm telling you, if Matt, after that, I mean, the thing, they gave him a lie detector test, and he admitted that, he didn't admit, he lied that he had used his power against his employees. So now I'm telling you, people, I heard it firsthand from the judge. He read it right from the psychosexual, whatever the frick they call that thing nowadays. He used his power to get sexual favors from his employees. They said it in court. There's no lying about it. It's all on record. So the fact that nobody else has come forward is because they're scared and hiding, and I don't blame them. They had family there today. I got into it with one of them. It was what a pussy that guy is, but we'll get to that in a bit. So we sat down, and at first we heard the disgusting things that Matt did to this poor girl. And I got to meet her for my first time, believe it or not. Super nice lady. They wanted her to give a statement in court, and she damn near broke down, man. That's how bad she's had it. So, anyways, her attorney described some horrible things that he did that I'm just not going to get into. And then his piece of crap attorney comes up, and this guy's like, yeah, he did it, and but we can only focus on the 2 counts that we agreed to in his plea agreement, and not the rest of the stuff that they did. And so you gotta sentence him off for that. Well, he did a good job of trying to play it away, but the judge didn't buy into it at all. The judge was true and straightforward. He didn't buy into the psychosexual therapist at all. And he gave Matt 2 consecutive sentences of 25 years. So how that works is the first 25 years is fixed, which means no parole. He's stuck there for 25, nothing they can do. The second consecutive 25-year term is 5 years fixed, with 20 up in the air. So he has to serve 5, which is 30 years total. If his behavior and butthole holds up long enough, then and he's nice, he can get out in 30 years. If he fights Bubba when Bubba is ass raping him tonight in prison, well, then he has to stay there for 50 years. So it's pretty good, but his butt is going to be sore. Now, one of the pleasures I got today, really, really good stuff. His wife, when he got sentenced, man, she hopped up and was trembling and crying and shaking, thought she was going to pass out. I was kind of hoping she would pass out so I'd go piss on her, but it didn't happen. And I did think I met the most curmudgeon, for sure. Hey, he's kind of just an asshole sheriff in there, man. This guy hates cell phones like no other. If you were there, you understand what I'm talking about. I mean, I've had cell phone lectures before, but I've never had cell phone lectures like this before. Basically, if your cell phone vibrated in your pocket, just expect a bullet. Didn't say that, but he definitely was leaning that way. I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure this guy has broken like at least an arm or a leg over a cell phone before, because this guy was hardcore. Anyways, moving forward. So, they asked Matt to speak afterwards, and the coward didn't say shit. And then they took him out of the room before they cuffed him and brought him off to prison, which really sucked because, man, I wanted to just see this guy get cuffed and stuffed. But that just didn't happen. So, is what it is. Now, moving forward, we walked into the hallway, and my sister Mona was there. I did a very good job of ignoring her. I wanted to walk right up to her and tell her I want my fucking picture. But no, this wasn't my day. This wasn't about that. So I kept my mouth shut. My niece came up to me that I've not seen in many years and I will have no part of, but she said, "Hey, Jace," and tried to give me a hug. I did give her a hug, and I was peaceful, and I was straightforward. But I got no room in there. Like, I got no more fucks to give for those people. They're done. They burned me twice. That's all they get. My sister Lisa was there. She's such a cunt. Even in court, in that situation, the Bells lady or whoever, she passed a box of Kleenexes down the aisles, and all the ladies were taking Kleenexes, and Lisa had to turn around and hand it off. She handed it directly past Angie to the next lady. I mean, couldn't even hand her a thing of tissues. This is a teacher here in Twin Falls. These are the people that are teaching your kids. She didn't even have the decency to hand Angie a tissue. So the lady next to Angie gave her one because she was nice enough. But holy crap, what a cunt. Anyway, so glad those people are done. So the sentencing's left. We walk outside, and there is Tyke Hanchy, or Bill Hanchy, as a lot of you know him. He was a Leo here. He was on the fire department, got fired from that. He was on the cop. He got fired for that. The story was he punched people, but I'm starting to doubt that. Have you ever had one of those uncles or aunts or so close family member that you grow up with, and they just seem like this badass guy that you don't mess with, and all these stories of Nam and how strong he was and this and that and the other. And then And this guy abused me as a child. Don't get me wrong. I gotta hold on. I'll be right back. Are we there? There we go. I had just a ton of feedback for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. Still do have some. Let me keep fiddling with things here. Still got feedback? Yeah, still got feedback. How about now? Yeah, still got it. Well, sorry. Deal with it. If it's there, hopefully it's not there on the recording. So, anyways, uh, we go outside, and I told you about Tyke Hanchy before, Bill. He used to be the truancy officer at the high school. A lot of people my age will definitely know him. He's a piece of shit. His son, allegedly, I got to say allegedly here because I'm sure after today I got some papers coming my way. But allegedly, his son raped one of my other my other cousins. This is well known in the Hanchy family. They covered it up too. Seems to be a thing. I wonder how much other raping's going on. Anyways, so I walk out the courtroom stairs, and this big guy that I'd talked to, like he's this big tough man his whole life. There he is, this little midget motherfucker. So I walk right up to him. I put my finger in his face and I said, "Hey, guess what, Tyke, you're next." Because I'm going to out him and his son, and I'm going to out them covering up. Now, this guy was also one of the 4 clergymen or disciples at the cult here in Twin Falls that I call the church, not the church, but that everybody calls the church. That's actually the cult that's on 3rd and 3rd, which isn't on 3rd and 3rd anymore because they changed the name from 3rd and 3rd to like 3rd and, I don't know, Fillmore, Fremont, Fairmont, Fairview, something with an F, I think. Anyways, he's one of the 4 people that were running that. Now, he got kicked out of the church, probably hit somebody. Probably not, little wimp. So anyways, as soon as I put my finger in his face and tell him he's next, and I'm looking down on this guy now because I dwarfed this little punk, he starts screaming to the officer, "Officer, arrest this man. He's threatening me." And they're like, "What?" He's like, "He just said you're next." And I said, "Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Because you're next. I'm busting your ass." And he's like, "I want him arrested for threatening me." I'm like, "That's not threatening you. If anything, you should be arrested for abusing me. Officers, I'd like this man arrested for abusing me as a child. He's a child abuser. And to make it worse, he's an officer of the law, retired or fired or whatever it is. He's still Leo, and he abused a child. And that's just me, and that's what I know of. I'm sure he abused a lot more than me." So, anyways, they didn't do that. But they did surround me and escort me to my truck and off the property. So I've been in Idaho for less than a week, and I've already had a sheriff's escort by 3 people to my truck. How awesome is that? So moving forward, I waited outside, and then we all headed to Maxie's Pizza together. Sorry, fake Maxie's. It's Monterey Jackson, Kimberly. If you haven't been there, man, it's the closest thing you're going to get to Maxie's this side of the moon. I'm really hoping this feedback isn't coming through because, boy, I'm getting a lot of feedback on my end. But I'm just going to pretend like it's not happening. So we go to Maxie's, and of course, my niece comes in with her husband and say hi. I don't need to say hi to her, but I don't need to cause a theme, or not a theme, but this isn't my day. This isn't about me. But I just ignored her. Everything went great. My sister came in, and her husband ignored them good. She came over to my wife at the counter and was going to try to hug her and said that she has a picture of, or she has a problem, or we have a beef, but her and Angie don't have a beef. And Angie's like, "Hello, he's my husband, and I live with him, you idiot," and walked away. So good for her. So happy she's got my back on that stuff because, man, Mona's a real piece of crap. Give me back my pictures. Anyways, it's funny. Ryan said if I got my pictures back, we could get through this. Absolutely not. She's dead to me. She's forever dead to me. It's not about the pictures, man. Remember, this lady bashed on me when my sister died, and just try to make me feel like shit, because I wanted to talk about my sister. What a horrible, horrible person this lady is. Anyways, so good news, Matt's gone for a while. Now I'm going to move on, and I'm going to sync my Uncle Tyke, which is one of them. He covered up for Matt. He was sitting in Matt's side, in Matt's corner. He was pulling for that child molester. Matt's mom, when she left, said, "I hope you're happy," to Avery, the poor child. Her son raped this child for years, and this child's aunts and grandmas slut shamed her and covered for these people. And Matt's mom looks her in the eyeballs when she's leaving and says, "I hope you're happy with yourself." Well, lady, I hope you're happy with yourself. And I plan on finding out who you are and where you come from, because you made my list. Wow, that's like one of the lowest things I could possibly think of to do, is when your son has admitted to raping this 12-year-old child, molestation, his own niece. And we had to listen to some of the things he did. And man, I just wanted to jump over the counter and just skip the whole lawsuit thing and handle things myself. In fact, I had plans to do that if the judge didn't sentence him, but the judge did. So, well, that didn't happen. So anyways, I couldn't believe that bimbo of a bitch did that, though. I just like, holy shit. Your son raped this poor child, and you're over here. Wow. But I guess it shouldn't faze me. She's the mother of a child rapist. Um, Bubba is going to be Matt's new friend. I sent him the video of the YouTube clip from Get Hard, where Kevin Hart tries to help Will Ferrell get pounded in the ass by Big Black Cock. I sure hope that's the deal with Matt, because Matt is a straight guy. Although, that's some things came out in the courtroom today that said didn't sound like things were real happy in the old bedroom compartment there, Matt. Like Mr. Floppy was hanging out too much, and the only thing that could get him hard was a poor child. So not only did Summer lose her husband today, she doesn't sound like she's been laid in a long time. She's old as shit. Looks like a bitter old hag now. It's funny, she's like 5, 6 years older than Angie, and she looks like she's 70. Hopefully she croaks out like she's 70. Um, I'm sorry, people. You need to understand, if you cover for a child rapist, which my cousins here did, and like I said, Zana and Bryce, I'm calling you out. Send me a cease and desist letter, whatever you want. I don't give a shit. I loved you more than probably pretty much, there's just a few people in this family I talk to. You bought Rhonda, my Aunt Rhonda, an attorney to get her off for covering for Matt. And today in court, I sure wish you would have been there when the judge talked about that. Um, Not necessarily you paying for her attorney fees to get her off, uh, but he talked about these people that covered for Matt, and that's part of the reason he sent Matt away to prison for so long, is because these people covered for Matt. They covered for this child molester. These people, their names: Rhonda Hanchy, Liz, what the hell's her name now? Reinstein, allegedly. All these are allegedly, just to cover my ass. Jill, what's Jill's last name? Jill, I haven't talked to him in 20 years, and I don't plan. Well, I will be talking a lot about him now. Let's see. What the hell is Jill's last name? Hold on. Let me look it up. It's Jer and Todd Burkhart. That's what it is. But I don't know if she's still married or not. Allegedly. And then Summer, of course, allegedly. All covered for this piece of junk. This horrible, horrible, horrible person. Ramona Crandall, allegedly, was my favorite aunt. Turns out she's just a chomo protector. Used to send her what she called cheeseburgers that were They're Italian prunes is what they were. But I wish I had all that postage back, because what a waste of money that was. Little did I know I was sending it to a chomo protector. Like I said, if even it would have been horrible if these people knew about it. And again, this is allegedly, because it hasn't been proven. This is just my theories. I guess I should say that too. Anyways, Bill Hanshy's on that list in there. Although I don't, yeah, he covered for her too. But anyways, out of respect, I didn't say Zana and Bryce's last name. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Like I said, they didn't actually cover for the Chomo, but they did pay to get one of the people that covered for the Chomo off. And I hope they know that now, because Matt admitted to it. He admitted all that stuff. They admitted they prayed it out of him today in court. Heard it all from the judge. Heard it all from his attorney. Heard it all from her attorney. They prayed it out of him, people. That's what happened, and they just thought it was all good. And then he'd rape her again, and they'd pray it out of him again. And he'd rape her again, they'd pray it out of him again. And then they'd slut shame her. And the psychosexual therapist even noted in there that to end Matt blamed this on her. Said she wouldn't get away from him. She kept pursuing it and trying to get it. And his attorney was like, she tried to get a job with Matt and Summer later. Well, that's because that's how this family works. I don't know the details, and I probably should check into it more. But I'd put money down. She needed a job, and nobody knew about it. And so they're like, well, why the hell aren't you talking to your Uncle Matt and Aunt Summer? Come on, they own 3 businesses here in Twin Falls. So that's what happened. That's why she tried to get a job, and that's probably why she tried to get a job and didn't. She probably intentionally didn't. Anyways, so I'm gonna probably wrap this up just because it's a solo one. It's a late night. I don't have my things set up right. But I'm Idaho JC now. I can't smoke weed anymore here. I haven't got a trip to Nevada, so I haven't been stoned in I don't know, 5 days. Yeah, because you wouldn't want to do that in Idaho. So, anyways, all in all, good though. It way better than I thought. I thought he was going to get a slap on the wrist and walk away. But no, he's gonzo. Ryan should be on the news tonight talking about it as well. Got to catch up with Rocky, which is the young lady's father, Ryan's brother. I hadn't got to see him in, man, so many years. So I got to sit down and talk to him for a bit and hear about his property and stuff. And he's a jet mechanic. Good for him. I couldn't do it. I told him I couldn't do it. If I work on your car and it breaks down, you get out and walk. If he works on your car and it breaks down, you ain't getting out, you ain't walking. Anyways. So there's that. I'm trying to think of a good song to leave on tonight. So I'm just gonna blah 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 you guys for a sec till I figure something out. Anything else to say? Oh, I get to shoot at rock chucks out in my backyard now. That's super fun. Corinne, got it. I didn't even have to think about it. And doesn't know it, but she's volunteered up her property for my pheasant hunting this year. Talked to my buddy's cousin Scott. He said he's going up the Magic Reservoir on Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'm hoping to get up there and do some yellow perch fishing. That'll be fun because then I'm having fish tacos. Let's see here. Oh, you know what? I think I got the perfect song for you, Maddie. Just thought of it. You're going to love this one. This is one of my favorite bands ever. The name of the band is Sublime. And this is going to talk about a girl named Annie. But anyways, enjoy. We'll just pretend it's about Matt. Here you go. You ready? Matt, here you go, buddy, because it's kind of a date. It's like a date with your new prison cell. Enjoy. Everybody, 30 years fixed with Kenny there. I don't think this asshole can hold out that long. Good luck, Matt. Enjoy yourself.
Let me tell you about a girl I know. Had a drink about an hour ago. Sitting in the corner by herself in a bar in downtown hell. She heard a noise and she looked through the door and saw a man she never seen before. Light skin, light blue eyes, a double chin and a plastic smile. Well, her heart raced as he walked in the door and took an empty seat next to her at the bar. A brand new car is parked right outside. How'd you like to go for a ride? And she said, wait a minute, I have to think. He said, that's fine, may I please buy you a drink? One drink turned into 3 or 4, and they left and got into his car, and they drove away someplace real far. Now babe, the time has come. How'd you like to have a little fun? And she said, if we could only please be on our way, I would not run. That's when things got out of control. She didn't want to, he had his way. She said, let's go, he said, no way. Come on, babe, it's your lucky day. Shut your mouth, we're gonna do it my way. Come on, baby, don't be afraid. If it wasn't for date rape, I'd never get laid. He finished up, he started the car. He turned around and drove back to the bar. He said, now baby, don't be sad. In my opinion, you weren't half bad. She picked up a rock, threw it in the car, hit him in the head, and he's got a big scar. Come on, party people, so listen to me. Date, rape, style, leave. The next day, she went to her drawer, looked up her local attorney at law, went to the phone and filed a police report. And then she took the guy's ass to court. Well, the day he stood in front of the judge, he screamed, she lies, that little slut! The judge knew he was full of shit, and he gave him 25 years. And now his heart is filled with tears. One night in jail, it was getting late. He was butt raped by a large inmate, and he screamed, but the guards paid no attention to his cries. That's when things got out of control. The moral of the date reg story, it does not pay. Be drunk and horny, but that's the way it had to be. They locked him up and threw away the key. Well, I can't take pity on men of his kind, even though he now takes it in the behind. That's the way it had to be. They locked him up and threw away the key. Well, I can't take pity on men of his kind, even though he now takes it in the behind. Take it away! Ba-na-na-na-na-na, ba-na-na-na-na-na, ba-na-na-na, la-la-la-la-la. She didn't want to, she didn't want to, she didn't want to, she didn't want to, take it!
Fitting song, and I'm pretty good with this stuff. I just want to leave with one note to Avery. I'm very, 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 very sorry you had to go through this, and my story doesn't even come close to your story, but coming from a child that was mentally abused by these same people in similar ways, I'm very much related to you, and that's why I wanted to do this, and this is why I wanted to do the podcast, and this is why I wanted to sink Matt. Not just because he's a chomo, and I think the worst thing in the world ever is to harm a child. Like I said, a lioness will literally raise a zebra, and nobody will touch that little zebra until it's big enough for her to eat it. Now, say what you will, shouldn't let anything touch, nothing touch that child. So, I'm very, very sorry you had to go through this, and I hope you can move forward. I hope you have moved forward. I figured out a way. I can't tell you how to do it because you got to figure out your own way. But I did. I got away from it all. I denoted or denounced people that I don't want in my life anymore. And I caught a lot of flack for that. But you do what you need to do and don't listen to anybody on Because later on in life, as I tell my story, I have people call me now and be like, dude, I had no idea. And they didn't, just like they didn't have any idea about you. And like I said, what happened to me is nothing like what happened to you, and can't compare, no way it could compare. And so I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, I'm really sorry you had to go through that. I know 30 years, that's punished for Matt, but it doesn't make up for you, what happened to you. But stay strong, girl. I met you and you got a cute kid with like the biggest. She's got like basset hound cheeks. Not gonna lie, this little girl is just think. Don't inflate those with helium; she'll float away. Anyways, on that note, have a good night, people, and we'll be right back.